everyone, Ashley here with SCZ Live, and today we're in the veterinary hospital, and all of our vets and vet techs are working on something really cool. Brittany, what are you working on today?
So today is our first annual Elephant Big Blood Day. Since we have 8 elephants, we decided we would pick one day every year to do all of their major blood work at a single time. So it used to be we got one elephant here and we'd send it off, but to kind of streamline everything and save a little bit on shipping, we're just going to do it all in one day. So this morning we helped the elephant keepers draw blood on all 8 of their elephants, which took a few hours, but thankfully our elephants are very well trained, so they handled it quite well. So then once we got it back to the lab, we kind of divided and conquered. So the 3 vet techs, Jenny, Stephanie, and I, are doing 3 different things at the moment. So what I'm doing is all of the extra blood that we got this morning that we're not sending off to Michigan State for vitamin E testing or to Miami to do some other blood work, we're doing what's called banking. So we take the whole blood and it gets spun down in what's called a serum separator tube. So you've got all of your red blood cells and your whole blood down here, and then this is kind of the serum in your blood. Humans have it too, elephants, they also have it, and we get a lot of blood from them. So after Zubiri came down with an active case of EEHV, we had some requests from researchers to send them serum samples from the whole herd to see kind of antibody testing, which hasn't been done a lot on serum at the moment. There's a lot of research in whole blood, but they're kind of wanting to test serum now. So what I'm doing is I've got serum from all 8 of our elephants, and I'm putting them into 2 ml cryo tubes. You have to write very small, but they're all labeled, our elephant's number, their name, African elephant, and what the sample is. So this is actually a whole blood sample. So that's a different sample for that. But then we have serum samples. And then we have all of these pre-made and pre-labeled, and we just go in and write the date in. So I've got a Titan tube right here. So if I find him his tube, his nice pretty serum, and really I'm just moving it into these cryo tubes to be frozen in our ultra low freezer, which is negative 80 degrees centigrade. So very cold. And it keeps the blood ready and good to go for when the researchers need to thaw it out and do what they need with it. So we do this once a week, and that's pretty much all I'm doing. Jenny, are you ready to talk about cross-matching?
Sure.
That is so cool. Thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome.
So let's go on over here and see what Jenny is up to.
Okay, so I am doing cross-matching. We have, in the past, when Zubiri was 6, we did do a blood transfusion for her. We did the transfusion from a couple of different elephants to her. So we took blood from Johnny and we took blood from Titan and we transfused that or gave that to Zubiri. So what I'm doing right now is I'm checking to make sure that our other elephant's blood can be given or donated to each other. So cross-matching basically tells me what elephant's blood is compatible with which other, the other elephant's blood. And I'll do that for all 8 of our elephants.
So do elephants have a blood type like how humans have blood types?
They don't really have a blood type, but they do have different antibodies that we definitely want to make sure are compatible.
That is so neat. So does it take a long time to cross-match all the different elephants with each other?
It does take a while. It's fairly tedious. It's not super complicated, but it is a little bit tedious because I've got to spin down all the blood, I've got to separate it, I've got to do what's called a wash, and then I've got to set it up where I put some of Johnny's blood in with Titan, and some of Johnny's with Arusi, and some of Johnny's with Zolani, and some of Johnny's with Talia, and each of the elephants. And then I go to the next elephant, so I got to do Titans with a Johnny Titans with a Ruthie Titans with each of the elephants on down the line. So it's not super terribly complicated, but it is time consuming and a little bit tedious. But it does give us some really good information to make sure that we don't have any reactions from our elephants that do, if they were to receive a transfusion.
That is so cool. All right, so let's see what Stephanie is up to over here.
So what I am doing right now, in one of our previous Facebook Lives, we had talked about doing elephant complete blood cell counts. So right now I am doing part of one. Right now I'm looking at Titan's platelets. So we count the platelets. I can focus that in a little more. So what I'm doing is I am individually counting all of these little purple dots. Those are their platelets. That's what helps clot. Like when we get cut, our body forms scabs and our blood clots. The clotting is what platelets do in our blood. So what I'm doing is I count a certain amount of fields on this microscope and do some math, and then I can figure out how many platelets he has, an average number of platelets that he has. And then I'm going to count how many white blood cells he has. So I will look at all of his different white blood cells. This is one type, that's a heterophil. We will look at the different blood cell types and we kind of see how many of each type of white blood cell he has. If they have different levels or something, different white blood cells do different things. So we can kind of get an overall picture of their health. And I also see how many white blood cells he actually has. If their white blood cell count is too high, they can have issues. When it's too low, they can have other issues. That would be a whole nother segment to get into any of that. But pretty much I just sit and count all of those little purple dots for I'll do this on each of our 8 elephants today. And we normally, like Brittany had said, we normally do them they each kind of have their own week that they get this done. So we rotate, so every 5 weeks one of our juvenile elephants gets this done. But today we're going to tackle all 8 of ours, so our 5 juveniles plus our 3 adults, so that we can get kind of a baseline. All 3 technicians are here, so all 3 of us will be able to look at the blood and kind of compare what we're seeing. Plus we're doing exactly what we're doing here. We are sending out to a lab. We send it off to the University of Miami. And we will get their results, and that way we can compare our results that we're getting here with the lab results, and make sure that we are doing everything correctly, that we're not getting some crazy numbers that would make us believe that the elephant may be sick or not.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a really busy day ahead of you.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for taking time to share with us what you're doing today. We really appreciate it, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day.